So where did we start? Strategy deployment. We started with looking at the group strategies, and we developed our own internal sort of mission, purpose and vision statement in some snappy one-liners for the staff. We then developed, if you like, the key parts of the strategy underpinning that, and then we developed a roadmap, looking out for the most 2 to 3 years out into the future, and set a direction of which ones we were going to tackle first. We then discovered something called critical success factors, the five or six key factors that you must achieve in order to be able to succeed in developing your strategy. And then we then lastly got to a bunch of KPIs, which there's still too many of them, but we've trimmed them down and we are regularly taking them out, picking up from ourselves. We are regularly revising those and taking them out pretty much on a weekly basis. We now have about 15 of them, and we have now, if you like, come up with our 6-page document. That is regularly reviewed. One of the fundamentals for us, a key discipline for us, is a PDCA cycle, so Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, a Deming cycle, where we would review this probably every 3 months and develop it accordingly. More about the critical success factors. What were our 5 at the time? We've come a long way since then, but we had customer values, understanding, alignment and delivery, a flexible end-to-end supply chain, culture of continuous improvement, which is the area we're in at the moment, new product development and introduction, and probably the most important thing, which I think follows on from many of the speakers today, is engaged and aligned people. Since we did this in February this year, we've reorganised. The group has reorganised, and more about that later. And we plan to go round this loop again during October. So, where do we start? Once we develop our strategy, we decided, well, let's go to one of our internal customers. About 25% of our turnover in the UK comes from America. So we went to our biggest selling outlet in America, and we went back, if you like, to the first lean principle, identify the value from the perspective of the customer. Surprisingly, they didn't know anything about lean. They thought lean was 5S or something, tidying up the factory. We went over there. One of my lean colleagues here today, he sort of devised a stickle brick game, played a few games with them, did some value stream mapping, and then coming out of that, we developed about 9 projects, of which most of those are either complete, done, and we're moving on to the next lot. That has resulted in a great customer relationship now evolving just on what was three days well spent out in Norfolk. The final part then was, after a bit of readjustment to our strategy, we brought it to life. A lot of the way we did things was PowerPoint, a bit like today. Lots and lots of PowerPoints in stuffy offices, not really bringing it to life. So we have cockpits all around the buildings. We have enough buildings in the UK. And we've also lately introduced something called morning markets, where staff meet every morning for about 5 to 10 minutes. They're now run by the staff, for the staff. Management, the only rule now is management are strictly prohibited from attending those meetings by request of the staff, because they were meddling and getting involved and fiddling. They couldn't keep out. In addition to these now, we used to have regular senior management team meetings. These are done pretty much line side in front of these boards. So they're now in full visibility, everybody at senior level in full visibility across the site.